Hello, and welcome to episode number 151 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be Monday Night Raw for week 1, July 2021, and it is the first on the road to King of the Ring and Evolution, and the first of the month-long European tour. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show.
Too long, the lies and excuses have conquered. It's just a time bomb waiting to go off. So tell me why has it gone to this? We live just like we're dead. Afraid of something, afraid of someone. It's time to rise from the ashes. Rise into new day.
We start here in Madrid, Spain, as Keith Lee makes his way to the ring, and Keith Lee's like, alright. So first of all, luckily, the game's actually programmed it so that like all the European countries, they do all speak English, so that's not going to be an issue. Like for some reason, when I went to click on Madrid, I was expecting just to say Spanish, but yeah, it does say English as well, so it's fine. But Keith Lee comes out and he puts over Daniel Bryan and Apollo Crews for one hell of a fight at Bad Blood, but he's still the World Heavyweight Champion. And then Daniel Bryan makes his way to the ring not too shortly after, and he's like, well, congrats Keith, but I want my rematch because I beat you in the main event of Raw last week, so I feel like I deserve another one-on-one shot at that championship after I pinned you, your shoulders to the mat, 1, 2, 3. And Keith's like, you know, Brian, I hate to admit it, because I do respect you the hell out of you, and you did pin me fair and square last week, but I beat you again at the pay-per-view, so if you still think you're owed an opportunity, then come and take it. And then Apollo comes down, he's like, no, this is bullshit. Okay, look, here's the thing, right? Daniel Bryan, yes, you pinned the World Heavyweight Champion Keith Lee last week, but you had your match at Bad Blood, and you got pinned. I didn't get pinned. I earned my opportunity fair and square to get into this match, and yeah, I'm not the one out here begging for another opportunity, despite the fact that I rightfully got screwed because you're not as good as me and you screwed up my chance to be the champion. Yet you're the one out here begging for another shot. How about you move your flipping ass to the back of the line and you let me get my one-on-one shot that I deserve? And then Tyler Breeze comes out, he's like, lads, we've got a lot of stress today. Eve has been with Adam Pearce, trying to sort out the King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, and we're going to have an update on that coming up shortly, but here's the thing. You both make valid points, Brian and Apollo, so how about in the main event tonight, you two go one-on-one, and the winner of that will face Keith Lee for the World Heavyweight Championship at King of the Ring. But that will require you obviously would not be in the tournament if you take the opportunity. And then, long story short, the match is made. Keith Lee and will be watching to see who his next challenger is between Daniel Bryan and Apollo Crews in the main event tonight. 89, that segment got. 82, I'm starting to wonder if I actually did put this in Spain. I definitely looked at the thing because it said Madrid, Spain, but I don't think it says. I don't think it's a save. It says SNHU Arena up here, and these ratings are scarily high. So I think I might have made a mistake here, but oh well. Just pretend it's in Spain, and I'll get it fixed next time. So I'm not. You don't accuse me of cheating because all the ratings are too high. But I did definitely click on it. I don't know why it didn't save. But anyway. Blair, Undisputed Era come out, and they're like, well, guess what, it's all systems go, Adam Cole, baby. I've been speaking to Eve. Turns out I am in the King of the Ring, and I've got my match tonight against Buddy Murphy. And not only that, but there's a fatal 4-way tag team match coming up next with you guys, Grimes and Bo, Escobar and Scott, and Path of the Dragon, where the winners will go on to King of the Ring to get a tag title shot. And then Kyle and Bobby are like, oh shit, it's going to be Undisputed, King Cole and the Raw Tag Team Champions. Hell yeah. 77 tag match. I wouldn't have this be elimination. They've just decided it's going to be elimination without me picking, because that's how Fatal 4-Way tag matches work in this mod. But it is the UE who win. They defeat Path of the Dragon, Vega Mafia, and the Stock Exchange in 15-15. And it says Stock Exchange first, then Path of the Dragon, then Swerve and Escobar. Wouldn't do that. They'd probably just pin either Bo or Humberto. And then 52 for Carrillo, 70 for Tozawa, 74 for Fish, 91 for Kyle O'Reilly, 69 for Scott, 83 for Escobar, 55 for Bo, and a 74 for Cameron Grimes. And the new number one contenders for the Raw Tag Team Championships, to no surprise, I'm sure, the Undisputed Era. Here is the bracketology reveal. Pierce is back here with E for this one, not only to try and reveal the whole brackets, and you'll probably see them on your screen now, so I probably would have made a graphic for them. And I'm seeing if I can remember them on the top of my head, but I may have to close this down and go and look at the tournament bracket. Tonight, from the Raw side in King of the Ring, we've got Buddy Murphy versus Adam Cole and Xavier Woods versus Cedric Alexander. And the other two matches for that next week will be Angel Garza versus Andrade and Ricochet versus someone else. I can't remember. I'm going to have to go open it up. I tried to do it from memory, but yeah, you're probably seeing a photo anyway, so it doesn't matter. Kevin Owens. Yes, that's it. And then from the SmackDown side of King of the Ring, it's going to be... I can't remember the matches. I think it's Gulak versus Corbin, Sami versus Gable, Styles versus Nakamura, and Cesaro versus Ziggler. I believe those are the first round matches. I may be wrong, I may be right. But yeah. And then for the Queen of the Ring, it will be Kairi Sane and Frankie Monet in the first match, Mackie and Toni Storm, Asuka versus Liv Morgan, and Raquel versus Lacey Evans. And then from the SmackDown side, it will be... I think Bianca versus Carmella, Shayna versus Ember Moon, Sasha versus Santana Garrett, and Candice LeRae versus Shotzi Blackheart. Yes, I've just now checked, and that is correct. It's actually Gulak, Corbin, Sami, Gables, Ziggler, Cesaro. Yeah, I think that's what I said. Okay, so yeah, you can see it anyway, and I've got it all sorted out now. Sorry for the hullabaloo, I just wasn't really prepared and didn't really have the list in front of me. But the first match starts now. And it gets an 88. 17 minutes and 57 seconds. Buddy Murphy beats Adam Cole Bay in 17:57 with a Murphy's Law. 91 for Buddy Murphy and an 88 for Adam Cole. So Murphy advances to the semi-finals of the Raw side of King of the Ring. We then get a backstage segment. Mackie's firing herself up alone ahead of the her match with Toni Storm in the Queen of the Ring today. And yeah, she's hyping herself up, saying she's going to win when none of the J-Flow members are around her. And then she goes into the J-Flow locker room to hunt them down, and they've all been laid out. And then the word Dominion is sprayed, painted on the wall in like green paint. And the message has been sent loud and clear. There's somebody coming for J-Flow. Edge is also found laid out. We got a lot of attacks on this show here. People really can't contain their anger tonight. And Christian's here, and even Tyler Breeze are there. And he's like, I don't know I didn't see who attacked him. He's been laid out. I'm guessing it was one of those Undisputed Era boys, because they want to try and get the cheap shot on me and us. And, well, I can't really whine because I've got a match with Kofi Kingston tonight. So I've got to go out there and have my match. But Adam got attacked. I believe it may have been by the Undisputed Era. And Breeze is like, that does sound like them. And trust me, I will work on finding out who did this, because I am obviously the Detective Prince here of Raw, and it is my duty to withhold justice on this show. But does he got to think, Christian? You've got a match with Kofi. Maybe this could have been New Day too. Who knows? They may be a little angry after you and Christian beat them at the pay-per-view. And yeah, they've decided to take it out on your friend. Christian's like, don't be ridiculous. Why would it be them? Bree's like, So it is probably Undisputed Era, but just, Bree's putting that little seed of doubt that it could have been New Day, because you do never know. But I'm sure it wasn't. 83 rated segment. Kairi and Io are in Gorilla ahead of Kairi's first round match with Frankie Monet, the first ever Queen of the Ring match here in WWE. And yeah, just hyping her up. She says, I may have come up short against Io at the pay-per-view, but I'm going to win this tournament because I am Io, maybe Io aside, the best wrestler on this roster. And anyone dares to question Kairi, I'm going to put them down with my elbow. And then Kairi's music hits and she goes out to the ring. And the camera sort of just pans on Io. She's nodding her head. She's like, yeah, she's going to do great. She's going to do great. And then Charlie's like, well, I have you here, actually. She's like, yeah. She's like, what, do you have a response for Rhea Ripley? What are your thoughts on having to face her for your title at Evolution? And then Io's like, bring on Rhea Ripley. She calls herself a nightmare, but I'm going to be her nightmare. I welcome any challenge. And if she's my number one challenger, bring it on. I don't back down from anybody. 73, Queen of the Ring off to a flyer. Kairi defeats Frankie Monet in 11:53 with the insane elbow. 68 for Kairi, 60 for Frankie. And Kairi advances to the Raw semi-finals of King of the Ring. Backstage, this is why I was so hesitant to really plant them seeds for earlier on, because Woods has also been attacked backstage. So yeah, it probably wasn't New Day. And Kofi's like, what the fuck, man? Eve, come over here. Woods has been taken out. I didn't see who he was. He had his face covered. He had a black mask on. I couldn't really see who he was. But he's got King of the Ring tonight, and I've got my match with Christian, so can you go, Woods? And he's like, it's my dream to be King of the Ring, Kofi. I'm going to get out to that ring whether it kills me or not. Cedric Alexander's not going to know what hit him. It probably was him or Bobby Lashley who took me out. But I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to win King of the Ring like it's my dream to do. You go take care of Christian and maybe get us back in the tag title opportunity, Kofi. And 84, Kofi actually beats Christian in 13:43 for Trouble in Paradise. Where both these men, this is why it's now a one-on-one match, no outside interference, because both their friends have been laid out by somebody backstage. Not necessarily the same person. But Kofi defeats Christian in 13:43 with Trouble in Paradise. 72 for Christian, 80 for Kofi, and 84 for the match. And that's a very big win for Kofi Kingston. And him and Christian shake hands in the ring. And they celebrate when the Miz's music hits, of all people. And it's just him coming out for his record-breaking 10-time Intercontinental Championship celebration ceremony with all of the A-list. And he's like, enough of this. We've had enough of you two. Get out of my ring and let me celebrate in style like a true champion. Something like that. And then they get all the red carpets and shit ready for the Miz's record-breaking championship celebration ceremony. And it's just Miz bragging about how he's now officially the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, because the stats show it, and he's held it the most times. He'd like to thank John for the opportunity that he put him in, because Miz would never have thought about this triple threat match. But that was a John Morrison idea, and now Miz is the champion. That's all because of the brainwork of John and the quality wrestling ability of me. And then Damian Priest, he's like, Miz, this is all a nice, fancy, elaborate setup you've got here, but you know what happened last time, right? So, do you want to do that again? Because I do need my rematch for this title. So, I challenge you to a match right now. And Miz is like, no, buddy. Do you think I'm fucking stupid? Why would I do that again, Priest? But I'll tell you what. Maybe, if you think if you're feeling up to it, next week, me and you will go one-on-one. And Priest's like, you know what, Miz, we won't go one-on-one. Because you've got something up your sleeve if you're challenging me. So I'm going to challenge you. You can put that championship on the line, and it will be in a lumberjack match. And all of the lumberjacks will be alive members of the Raw roster. Just to put that out there for no reason at all. This segment, 81. I actually don't know who would do the talking. I would assume Julia has the best English out of all of these women, including Asuka. But even if it is including Asuka and she has the best, I don't really want Asuka talking too much in this new role, because she's a. How do I say this without offending her? She's good in the Asuka role, but that wouldn't work in the heel role because she's just too likable and too silly. So we'll limit her mic time. And Julia will talk about it, basically saying why they formed, because Asuka, for the last year and a half here on Raw, or in WWE in general, but I believe she has been on Raw the whole time, she's been overlooked by a lot of people. New NXT call-ups, the old established guard, but none of them are quite as good as her because she's the best women's wrestler in the world. But for some reason, there are other women on this show that the hires about the powers that be prioritize, and that includes J-Flo, who are like disgracing the name of Joshi Wrestling because they're just out here to sing and dance and look like fools, and that's not what Joshi Wrestling is all about. Joshi Wrestling is a subsection of wrestling that even a lot of the men would not be able to keep up with. And with the new Dominion here, Natsumi, Kiona, Maika, Julia, and Asuka, we're going to bring that to the United States the way that it was supposed to be brought here. And that even includes Io Shirai, Kairi, them two as well. They came from the same background, but they've sort of Americanized themselves, but that's not us. We're bringing our style to Raw. And then when they leave, Maki comes out alone. She gets in their face. But they don't fight off because Maki's got a Queen of the Ring match against Toni Storm up next. They get to 67. And Toni Storm wins it because the Dominion lackeys that aren't Asuka get involved and cost her the match because there's no other J-Flo members out there because they all got attacked. And Toni Storm advances to face Kairi in the next round. Next week, Drew McIntyre. He says he beat Bobby Lashley and he's feeling good and he's ready to reinstate the franchise challenge like he did to try and get good vibes out of people on the show. And Sheamus is like, fella, me and you went to war the other week. I'd love to do that again. And then he's like, Sheamus again, I would love to accept this challenge, but I actually already have an opponent. Somebody that I feel deserves the opportunity to see how he can hang with the franchise player. That is a former WWE champion. And she was like, really, who is it? And then Otis walks in the frame. He's like, oh yeah, Shamey, it's me. I'm coming. And then Drew's like, as your two best friends on this roster. And then Sheamus like, he's not my best friend. He's like, as your two best friends on this roster, Sheamus, we would love for you to come to ringside and watch our match next week. And then Sheamus is like, why would I possibly want to do that? And Drew just shrugged his shoulders like, it's not like you've got anything else to do. And walks off. And Sheamus is like, huh. Hurt Business promo. I probably shouldn't have put Lashley on screen here because I wouldn't have him on the show. But MVP's talking about how much of a disgrace it was that the almighty Bobby Lashley got beat in the fashion that he did at Bad Blood. And he's actually left Bobby Lashley at home this week because he knows what kind of a bad mood he's in. And you don't want that mood, that Lashley, on this roster. You don't want him around your superstars like that. Cedric Alexander had to take his spot in this tournament because we can't have Lashley around because he's going to be a danger to Raw. And trust me, once he's cooled off and he comes back, he'll still be a danger to Raw. But it's just got to let Lashley breathe. He's so angry and he wants to get his hand on Drew McIntyre again, but we have to just let that go and focus on King of the Ring, Cedric Alexander against Xavier Woods. Woods, of course, is beaten up because he was attacked backstage earlier on by a mystery guy. And he comes out, though, he hobbles out for a babyface performance. He's good to go. But he's not quite good to go because his dream has been ended. Whoever this masked assailant was has ruined Xavier Woods' dream and broken one of our hearts because Cedric Alexander beats him in 14-18 with a lumbar check to advance to the next round to face Buddy Murphy. 84 for Cedric, 86 for Woods, and 82 for the match. and we get a shot of Xavier Woods on the floor in pain, in sadness, because it's his dream to be King of the Ring, and some bastard has taken that away from him.
Really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt and Susie, not The Fiend and Su Yung, talking about how Alistair, Alexa, we're truly sorry for what our friends did at Bad Blood, you know. Just, we couldn't really control them. They'd seen enough. And, quite frankly, it's time to put an end to all of this, man to man. So, woman to woman. At Evolution, maybe my friend Susie can go one-on-one with your friend Alexa. And at King of the Ring, you, Alistair, you can leave Killian and Dexter behind. And we'll talk it out like men. No, I'll leave him in the back, you leave all your stuff in the back. And me and you, man versus man, at a King of the Ring. There's the challenge. Bye. So, yeah, 2 matches potentially on the cards for the pay-per-views. Susie versus Alexa, and Bray Wyatt, the man, versus Aleister Black. The challenges that Bray and Susie have laid down here tonight. Just a quick backstage segment. Ricochet and Bronson Reed are chatting backstage about their win last week and how they thought they made a great team. When Cameron Grimes and Bo Dallas walk up to them and they sort of like get on tense and they on edge, Grimes just sort of pulls $100 out of his wallet, hands them to Ricochet, hands it to Cameron Grimes, pats him on the shoulder, and is like, "Good job, guys. You impressed Cameron Grimes." And then he walks off, and they're like, "Huh." So basically, pulling back the curtain, I need another babyface tag team on Raw. So I have to turn Bo and Grimes, because in real life, Grimes is a babyface now, and he's super over, and he's really good in that role. So I think it'll be fine just to turn them, because they're nice and funny. And yeah, that's also including if I do anything more with Reed and Ricochet. So yeah, I just needed more babyface tag teams, so these have turned. These are a soft team at the minute because they've got nothing else to do. But Ricochet's in not Money in the Bank, King of the Ring next week. So he has got stuff to do. Talking Smack, Cameron Grimes and Bo Dallas will be on there, as will Tony Storm, as will Damian Priest. Raw Talk, not Talking Smack. 85 rated main event. Apollo Crews defeats Daniel Bryan clean of a standing moonsault in 7:47. They don't click, but it's still got an 85. 68 for Apollo, 85 for Bryan. So it will be Apollo Crews versus Keith Lee 1-on-1 for the World Heavyweight Championship at King of the Ring, which is solidified here with a post-match segment. Keith gets into the ring, holds the title up high, and Apollo sort of looks up and like, "It's going to be mine, bro. That's my belt. It's coming to me." I apparently didn't book in the Raw Talk segments. Awesome. But yeah, nothing really interesting was going to happen on Raw Talk this week. It was just going to be Priest talking about his IC title match next week. Tony Storm talking about how she's going to win Queen of the Ring, and Grimes and Bo sort of further leaning in towards their face run. But yeah, 89 for the show. Didn't actually put it in Spain. I'll get that fixed for next week. Please don't shoot me and make me fail the goal, because I'm still going to do it. It's just I made a mistake. I made a boo-boo. I actually have them all written out where they're all going to be, so you can trust me that it's all been planned to be proper. But what matters more than the 89 is what you thought of the show anyway, so do let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for SmackDown. Bye.